What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Hyperspace chat. I'm here with the usual guest, Annie Kestis. How are you, Annie Kestis?
I am doing well, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, but something that's not doing great is the Star Wars fandom. It's in a pretty rough spot at the moment. Some would say it's crumbling, but that's what we're here to discuss today is Star Wars crumbling. And when we say crumbling, obviously we're just talking about mainly the fandom, the brand reputation. It's not going to die. They're not going to sell it off as much as we'd hope they do that. But what we mean is basically fan reputation, brand reputation, and basically division within the community. I think that's a pretty good set to go with. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think as far as, definitions go, that's very good. Unfortunately, as far as title, this is kind of similar to a podcast we've done before, but in terms of content, it's different. But I couldn't think of a different way to like define it other than just is Star Wars crumbling?
Yeah, and in this one we're really going to be talking about the recent drama, the recent news. So if you haven't seen the other one, go watch that after this. This one will get you up to date on the recent news, and the other one will get you up to date on pretty much what's been happening since I'd say 2014 or maybe even 2012. So yeah,
Yeah,
all right,
2012, 2013.
yeah. Let's get straight into it. So over the past, what is it, like a week, there's been a massive drama between Star Wars Explained and Star Wars Theory. It's also included Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and RK Outpost. But for the main purposes of this discussion, we're going to stick to the Star Wars Explained versus Star Wars Theory part of it, which is the most interesting. Basically, it started off with, we're not sure if they started it, but I'm pretty sure they were involved in writing it, even if they didn't start it themselves. They posted a dossier kind of thing, like an image on Twitter, basically saying these three guys plus Star Wars Theory need to be demonetized. And then basically there was a massive, massive campaign. How many people was it? It was thousands of people within the first 30 minutes at least that reposted it on Twitter.
It was probably like there were at least like 100 notable accounts, like significant size accounts, but I think within the first like couple of hours there were a few thousand reposts.
Yeah, yeah. So really, it looked coordinated. Basically, it was just saying these guys are all racist. They've made a targeted harassment campaign against Moses Ingram and the lady from the Acolyte. So they should be taken down, demonetized, and not be able to make it a platform, not be able to make a living off bigotry, basically. And Star Wars Theory, the funny thing is, Star Wars Theory was not the main target of this, but they mention his name right at the bottom just so they don't get sued. They call him Good Faith, but then they're like, how many other good faith creators are going to engage in this type of content because it makes them so much money? So that's the basic recap. What do you think of that whole situation unfolding?
There are so like we could hypothetically have like a 2 hour podcast just about this one subject because, dude, okay, first of all, Molly Damon claims that she saw some other account post it, and I believe originally that person then claimed they saw it from someone else. However, I'm pretty sure they have a podcast, and in her most recent tweet about it, Molly said it's from a podcast who I guess wants to remain anonymous.
Yep. I'll
So
drop the name. It's Rewriting Ripley. That's the podcast. It was obviously them that started it. The only question is, was Star Wars Explained involved in them starting it? So I think they were, to be honest, but we're not making that accusation for legal purposes. We're just speculating here. But yeah, that's the first part.
yeah,
Continue on.
so whoever wrote it within 30 minutes explained, I think Cal Katarn, there were a few people within 30 minutes, but then within an hour, you had a lot of the bigger accounts being like, "Oh, well, Explain retweeted this, or actually reposted this." That's the main key. Is not retweeting. There were some people who were claiming that what we're doing by posting this isn't, agreeing
An
with it or
endorsement.
saying that it's right. Um, well, was it Star Wars Newsnet or was it the other one?
Yeah, oh, that was the most ridiculous one. These guys are
Yeah,
supposed to
these
be an
absolute cucks. All
objective.
right, if you guys care about integrity even one bit, you need to boycott these cucks so hard. They don't even give good Star Wars news anyway. All right, they're a trash website. They're completely outdated. Their website looks like it was built in 1999. But these guys reposted this thing, making huge accusations, and their response to getting flack in the comments is, well, us reposting something isn't showing that we're agreeing with it. We're just
Yeah,
putting it out there. But in the tweet where they reposted it, they said, this has gone on for too far. Something needs to be done. You idiots! What do you.
yeah.
That's
I
not going to
roasted
protect you in
those.
court. You don't.
I roasted those idiots on Twitter. I was like, this is the biggest backpedal of all time. That was clearly an endorsement. And then, bro,
Yeah,
these guys, I can understand all these YouTubers. It's terrible behavior from all these YouTubers, but from a website that's supposed to be an objective news website, it's just giving the news. It's not really supposed to have opinion. That's insane for them to post. You don't see
exactly.
Screen Rant posting it. You don't see what's the other one, Bespin Bulletin posting it. So it's just insane from them, and I wouldn't consume them for news anymore.
Exactly. I think it's crazy, man. I cannot believe one that they did it, but two, there were a decent amount of people defending them as if their take was logical. Like, yeah, dude, reposting something word for word and also calling to action on it doesn't mean you're endorsing it. Like, huh? Have you have you ever used the internet, bro? Do you know how reposting stuff works?
And not only that, they didn't just retweet it. You could, if you retweet it, you are endorsing it. But anyway, there's an argument that if you retweet, it's not an endorsement. But these guys did not retweet it. They absolutely posted it on their own account. They copy
They
pasted it.
copied the text, they copied
Yeah.
the image, they had to paste it in, and then they
And then they
specifically
made a
wrote
statement on
something
top of it.
saying it's gone too far.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest backpedal of all time. I mean, I wish I could show
Yeah,
this on screen. Maybe we can work something out, but yeah, that was insane. And then after that, we got I'm pretty sure after that is when Theory's first video dropped, basically dropping the emails with explained and his
pretty
history
soon
when they
after
met.
that, yeah.
Yeah, do you want to go into that?
Yeah, so basically, Theory had. Man, I don't want to. So I have been in the Star Wars community for well over a decade now, and I remember when Star Wars Explained first made his channel, Star Wars Theory first made his channel, and I don't remember if it was on Reddit or Twitter. It was probably Reddit. There was this rumor going around that behind the scenes, some of the biggest Star Wars YouTubers were having issues, and they were like major issues, like they actually might try and fight each other or something.
Whoa, whoa,
And
whoa,
this
whoa,
was
whoa! You
like
have to go into this. This is a story you have to go into.
yeah, I will. I will. So
All right, good.
first, let me just give the overview. So there was all that stuff happening, but it was just whispers. It was just like a hushed voice here and there of someone who might have had a YouTube account, and at one time they were popular. So Alex from Star Wars Explained DM'd them and started venting stuff to them. But it was all unconfirmed because the person didn't want to actually expose themselves by revealing word for word what was said to them. Because obviously Alex could then just look at his messages and be like, "Ah, it's you. You're not my friend anymore." Um, but it turns out, so again, this is like 2017, 2000, like maybe very early 2017,
So this
or
was
late
going around on
2017.
Reddit boards and I'm guessing Star Wars leaks, Star Wars speculation, those
I
types
don't
of
remember
subs.
exactly where it was. It was definitely on Reddit, but it was a very kind of like, it didn't get much attention because there was no real
Okay,
proof. Like
okay.
someone didn't just give screenshots. So we were like,
But it was something
okay,
going
kind of
around.
interesting, I guess,
The rumor
whatever.
was that there
Yeah.
was beef behind the scenes.
We were more focused on like the Yoda anthology movie, the Boba anthology
And who's
movie,
Snoke? Who are
Obi-Wan,
Rey's
stuff like that.
parents?
Exactly. So these claims were made, and all these years later, which I guess happened last week or the week before last, Theory posted these leaked email screenshots, which basically just kind of confirmed things. Like, Explained was going around trying to benefit from these people who were starting to make it big time. I think there was one or two accusations. This is by my memory. I'm not sure about this one. The other one, I'm 100% sure about. It definitely happened. It existed. This discourse
Damn.
happened online. You can look back at it.
So you're
But
connecting that, but all the way back then in 2017 to this current situation now, and you're saying it was Star Wars Explained that was causing the beef.
I know by name it was Star Wars Explained, but the question is who was the other person? But now
Yeah.
Theory's exposed all this stuff that he's had drama with him for years off and on. And
Who do you
Theory,
think it is?
by all means, obviously Theory is controlling the narrative here, because he is releasing set stuff and Explained, I guess, are just trying to sweep it under the rug and not address it and pretend it never happened.
It's a ridiculous
Um,
strategy.
which I think just proves them guilty, if anything, because realistically, if Theory was lying, if he was taking the screenshots out of context or something like that, just show the rest of them. They're not like, oh no, the moral high ground. We could never do that. Like, no, Disney would love you guys to dig him a grave. Like, do it. They
There are
won't
lots of
though,
people that
because
want
it
him
turns
dead.
out
If you have evidence, oh, not dead physically. Just to be clear, guys. I mean dead as a channel.
the channel,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah,
Go on.
like all this drama was happening back in the day, and it's not until recently, like, I was pretty sure, but I supported Explained anyway because I was like, well, I don't have the best personal views on Theory. I don't like the content he makes. I'm not gonna like assume anyone's side on this. But now that all this stuff has come out and evidence has come out on one side and not the other, it really just seems like um Explained is just like so that's the thing. The thing it wasn't 100% confirmed because like it was literally just a couple people posted stuff online and then they deleted it a week or two later when it started getting views. People would claim that there is a big YouTuber who is going around, and if you get a viral video,
Wow.
he will try to get at you. He will try to understand what you did. He will try to be like,
Wow.
"Hey, well, maybe you can work with me," and
I
stuff
might
like
have to
that.
clip this out.
And yeah, so I don't know if any because they were necro threads at that time, and anytime someone would mention them, they'd get deleted. So I don't know what that because this is when the Star Wars YouTube community was incredibly tight knit. There weren't that many of us. Um, Especially on Reddit, which back then it wasn't a mainstream site at
This
all.
is
Nowadays,
insane.
all the kids use
Well,
it. Back in the day, Reddit was ancient.
Reddit was the one site I was on back in 2017. I didn't see any of this, and I went pretty deep on that stuff. So this is some breaking
Yeah, exactly.
news.
This is
This is
really
some
old
deep
stuff. I mean, this
investigative
is
work.
to some extent the stuff with theory and all that. That is like 2017. To some extent, this is like 2015 to 2016. Because I mean, I won't say the names. There are a couple YouTubers I know who were suspected as being the people who made those posts, and one of them just stopped uploading as soon as that accusation went
All
out.
right, let's
The other
name
one stopped
names.
uploading eventually, but it was after the whole hype of like the Force Awakens died out, and they were kind of just out of Star Wars.
Okay, let's name
So
names.
these are pretty old
First, I
claims.
want to know who do you think was those texts that Theory showed with Star Wars Explained? Sorry, that a guy messaged Theory on Instagram. Who do you think that was? Was that another YouTuber?
I think it probably was because anything I have heard of in the past of all these little dots connecting together would heavily imply that Explained seems to have a lot of issues uh, personally connecting with people in a healthy way. I mean, we clearly saw that with Theory, but
We're getting
if
sued
the
for this
if
one.
the if the accusations which were made on Reddit like a decade ago almost, so it's not us, we're not making them, but if those accusations I saw back
Correct.
in the day were true and they connect to Explained, then it seems like he may have a pattern of approaching people when it benefits him, trying to get buddy buddy with them. Maybe some of them he actually agrees with on a personal level politically and ideologically, and he actually gets along with
I
them.
think that's a big
And
part
then
of it.
whenever,
Nobody will admit it, but I think a
yeah,
lot of it is politically driven.
yeah, and then whenever he gets someone else on board to maybe help him out, or maybe like, hey, Theory, you want to help me, and it doesn't go his way, he then trash talks that person behind their back. Because at the end of the day,
This
this
is
is
very
not healthy
interesting.
behavior.
Not at
If
all.
Theory told us the full story, then that means Explained emailed him, hey, do you want to collab? Theory replied, oh, yeah, yeah, let's do something in the future. They never really did. They happened to meet together at an event and explained that whole time, even though he reached out to Theory trying to collab, that whole time he was panicking because he was getting more views than him and more money and more fame and he couldn't handle it and he couldn't sleep at night and Molly had to coddle him to sleep. And like,
I'm sorry.
that's not
That's
sane. He reached out to Theory to be a friend. And when Theory started doing better than him again, oh, my world's collapsing. That's not healthy,
It
right?
sounds like it
But then
wasn't a
we have the
friendship
facts.
request. It was more of a let me get the inside info. Let me try and keep my
Exactly. It
enemies
was like, hey,
closer.
let's be friends. By the way, help me out.
Basically, he wanted to keep his enemies closer than his friends, is what I get
Yeah.
from it. Alright, so I'm going to ask you, since you've just dropped some incredible deep lore from back in the early Star Wars canon days, I'm going to ask you, you said a few YouTubers were suspected of making those original posts accusing someone we don't know, we didn't know back then, of going around and trying to destroy you if you got a viral video. Who do you think those YouTubers were?
Okay, so there's one in particular that I think I can definitely name because he genuinely like he vanished from the internet without a trace after this allegation happened. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Qui-Gon Josh. He's a
Oh,
guy
okay.
from the UK. Yeah, we there was a project we were working on together and we put him in that list. That's how I know about him because I didn't know his
Okay.
channel existed at that time. He had like maybe 2,000 subscribers. Um, but then he started making more content like around The Force Awakens, speculating hype towards The Last Jedi. But he just did, I don't even think he made it to the release of Solo, if I remember correctly, let alone The Last Jedi. Like it was just
That's crazy.
he vanished out of nowhere.
Yep.
Um, and
Add for
there
the
were
second.
people who had theorized that he was one of these people, and his post was the tamest one as well. So that's also why I feel comfortable mentioning it. It was
Okay.
just saying like, yeah, a couple people approached me. One of them was the biggest, and at that time, that would have been Star Wars Explained. That's just a fact. Um,
Yep.
one of them was the biggest guy out there, and I just felt uncomfortable, so I
I'll
just
drop
stopped
a name
replying,
for
and
the
that
second
was it.
guy. And this is me not having read any of the posts. This is just the only guy I can think of. Well, right, the only two guys I can think of who were big back then and were already in the community are Lawmaster, which was fact free back then. It's not Stupendous Wave because that just would have been mentioned since he's involved. Either Lawmaster
Yeah.
or Dash Star.
Okay, I'm not gonna confirm or deny anything.
All right, well that's a yes. So it's one of
Here's what
those
I'll
two.
tell you. I think in total, because after these things were made, a whole bunch of people started making replicas. So I don't know how many original claims there were. I think there were like three, and they were all from separate accounts. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're from different people. It could be one person trying to stoke the flames. It could be two people, and one of them is up to something. It could be three independent people. But regardless, they were made like I have a feeling one of them was made in around 2015, the other one around 2016, and the last one wasn't until
That'd have
the
to be
2016
Dash.
one started getting brought up in Necro threads, which would have been around 2017.
Okay.
That is when that was mentioned, and that's
Do you
around the time Qui-Gon Joss disappeared, and that's when that Reddit post was deleted.
All right, and do you think Urban Acolyte was involved at all in this? Because he was pretty jaded with the Star Wars community around that time. Although
Here's the thing,
he aligns with politically with Explained.
I wouldn't doubt that he has some kind of connection to explain. I don't know the nature of it though, but that's what I wanted to mention earlier. I think that when explained does find someone he clicks with, he just kind of like latches onto that because when he doesn't, he's against that person. He sees them as an enemy. He can't sleep at night because of them,
He's
like
literally
fearing
Anakin.
because they're doing better than him. Yeah, right. Like when he does find someone, he I think hypothetically, this is based on my experience with people who might act that way. This is my experience with psychology. He kind of just mentally latches onto that person. He sees them as kind of a safe thing. From the screenshots that we have, it seems like he had previously trash talked theory like to this person, and then now he's coming back from it and saying, "Ah, man, damn it, I really like this guy now. It turns out he's just like me." And that person's kind of like, "Oh, really? Darn!" Like they're kind of just like, to me, it seems like they're playing along. Like, "Oh, really? Man, that's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy. Can
yeah.
you tell me more?"
All right, this is
But
insane. I
yeah,
can't believe
that's
the amount of info. I can't believe the amount of info we got here. All right, damn. So that's incredible, guys. I don't know how many of you are really interested in the deep early days of the Star Wars fandom. We are going to drop a massive documentary on that in the future. We're working on it as we speak. But if you don't know some of these guys were only around from 2015 to like 2017. They had a massive
some of them
impact on
had
the
their
fandom at the
channels for
time.
less than a year. They didn't even get monetized. They were doing it just for fun, and then out of
Yeah.
nowhere, they vanished.
Do you remember that Star Wars lore guy? Star Wars lore,
Yeah,
the blue. Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy disappeared right before Solo, and in his last video, he said, "Guys, I'm so excited to see Solo. I'm gonna report on it as soon as I get there and see it." And he never uploaded again, which
yeah.
I don't want to make any speculations, but that could mean he tragically died before seeing the movie.
It's possible, unfortunately. And hey, you know what? Maybe he was better off.
Oh God. Yeah, well, at least he didn't have to be tortured by the current state of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true, definitely.
All right, that's insane. So, what was the drama about back then? That leads us into the series you made this week in clickbait. Do you want to go into that? It was about the guns not showing up in the solo Star Wars
Yeah,
story
so
posters.
last week at clickbait, not this week. Last week at clickbait, this is
Ah,
something like because I was plugged into the fandom at that time, I was watching these as they came out. And the YouTube community at that time, at least the one I was plugged into, really didn't like theory that much because the thing is there's this guy, he comes out of nowhere, he makes one popping video, and all of a sudden he's doing all these saber giveaways, and it's like yeah, I was a YouTuber back then. Like, I kind of see what you're doing, dude. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of not the best practice, to say the least.
are we talking about Theory
Um,
or Stupendous here?
both. Theory said he saw someone else do it, and that was stupendous for a fact,
Okay, yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
But I don't have an issue with them doing it necessarily. It's just like back then there was a lot of mystery when it came to YouTube, and there was never any proof. I think on his Facebook he later posted proof that people received them, but it's like unless you happen to have a Facebook account and give all your personal information, there was no way to know it was legit. He was just opening every video and every outro with the saber giveaway of like $500, and you're like, ooh, wow. Not sure how you feel about that.
Yeah,
But then,
guys, I'm not
uh,
making an accusation here, but a lot of that early stuff in early YouTube, and I'm not just talking Star Wars, a lot of those giveaways on YouTube in the gaming community, in many different communities, a lot of them were fake. I'm not saying Stupendous faked them or Theory, they probably didn't, but there's no way
that's
to
the
know all the
thing.
way back then.
The whole method, yeah, that's exactly the point I was gonna make. Back then, there wasn't this thing of like, oh yeah, I can see when this person subscribed to my channel. On the YouTube studio as a YouTuber, you can see that information now. Back then, there was no such thing. Unless someone had publicly subscribed to you, YouTube used to have this thing where people could like share emails and they would be able to share the email that they subscribed to you. Other than that, there was really no way. And eventually YouTube removed the ability to email people. So, and I think that might have happened by the time that they were doing these giveaways. So there was a lot of questions in the community. And it's around that time, when they started getting really popular, that unfortunately Explain made the series last week in Clickbait. And it was basically a series. He outlined it as a series where, hey, we're really close to Solo coming out. And then after that, The Last Jedi. I want to make sure you guys are getting the true information about Star Wars rather than all this clickbait about what might or might not happen. Okay, sounds pretty cool. Almost immediately, he started covering stuff from r slash Star Wars leaks, the subreddit, which around that time was starting to get really popular because now that um, the Force Awakens is the first thing that really kind of blew it up. But even then, it was pretty small. It wasn't until we approached the Lost Jedi, and especially after the Lost Jedi, that subreddit got insanely popular. And
Yeah,
nowadays, what
that's
is it
when I
even at
found
now?
it.
Like 200K?
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, back then I don't remember exactly. It was definitely under 50K, like 100%. It was a tiny subreddit. And so uh, he would go on there, he would find some stuff that's misleading, and he would talk about it and say, actually, I found out that this is fake by going to this email address or by looking up this person and going to their Instagram. I found out it wasn't posted there. Some guy just made this up. Okay, fine. That's good. Third episode, he started making merchandise because people were really into the series that he was doing. It was good quality research. In that same episode, as far as I can recall, he did the same thing. He went to Star Wars Leaks. He found something which was covered poorly. This time it actually happened, but it wasn't for the reason that the leakers were saying. And it happened that because it took him a while to verify this stuff, people like Theory, people like Stupendous, and people like Geeks and Gamers had already published videos about this. And maybe they did their own research, maybe they didn't. Maybe they were just covering something for the sake of saying, hey, for the sake of saying, hey, there's a new post on Star Wars Leaks. Let's see what it is. Whatever it is that caused them to make these videos, he he covered the actual thing, and then he said, as a complete like sideline, like, "Hey guys, by the way, I just wanted to say, like, I'm really disappointed by how some of my peers and people around me have covered this drama. I think like he basically just said like they shouldn't have any credibility. Like they did a really poor job. They didn't confirm things, and I'm really not happy with it. The thing is, this upload was directly correlated to Theory's one because if I remember rightly, YouTube was recommending them together, and that was causing people to go from theory to explain to theory. And they would be like, oh, so he's talking about theory. And this is what caused the idea in theory's mind, because I don't think he ever named them. I really don't think he did. I don't recall that happening.
Well, the
But
video
I
is still
made
up.
that
I'm guessing they're
connection.
all down by now.
There's a couple of the last week in clickbaits which are still up, but I think he might have made like 10 of them, and the vast majority of them have been taken down. Even the like first one, which was the most innocent thing ever, which wasn't going after anybody. I don't know why he did that. Um, but YouTube recommended them, and that's how I made the link in my head. And I saw all these people in the comments hating on Theory, saying, "Hey, Explain said that you're a liar," and stuff like this. I don't think he ever by name called them out. I think that's how it kind of happened.
Okay.
But regardless, that was clearly his intention because the biggest person other than him in Star Wars at that time was Theory, and he had just recently made that video, and so it was clearly correlated.
Okay, yep.
And so
So,
this caused a lot of issues between Explained and Theory, which later they talked it out and they handled it like men.
well,
And then Explained continued to then talk behind Theory's back about how he was using his name for views and things like that.
yeah, let's get into that because this is one of the most ridiculous things. So, for a long time, I don't know if it's been a rumor or if they've actually said it publicly, but there's been a known thing that Star Wars Explained have claimed that everyone in the community are using their name to leech off their views to get views on their own videos. But if you know anything about YouTube, the titles first of all do not matter they don't matter like in the exact wording, they matter for the idea that they convey. So if you put Star Wars Explained in your video, if it's a shit video, you're not going to get any views. Like just putting that those magic words there are not going to blow the video up. And they're claiming that everyone's doing it just to leech off their good name, their reputation, and their view counts. So they've claimed this for years, and theories he's been railing against that for years. Now, do you remember if that was them directly saying it or if it was a thing going around in the community? Because it's been going around for ages.
So here's the thing. As far as I personally could remember before this information came out in Theory's video, I remember there being a live stream, or maybe it was a charity event, or something along those lines, and it was brought up casually, and they just mentioned like, ah, yeah, we're worried about that too. Like someone else mentioned it, and they're like, yeah, yeah, we're kind of worried about that. However, since then, there have always been rumors that they have, there are unverified rumors. Let me clarify that right now. I don't believe them, and that they don't have evidence. But people would get fake copyright strikes, and it wouldn't say who they were from because they'd make up a fake company, but it would say the reason is you have Star Wars Explained in your title. You need to remove it. Or it
Bro.
would say actually you're taking our branding as in Star Wars Explained. Now there are a lot of people who do false strikes. That's 100% true in
Yeah.
any community. But and I'm not going to accuse them of doing that, but that stuff only was able to be faked if it is fake because there were these rumors going around all the
Yeah.
way back since like 2016, 2017.
Yeah. It's been going around for a long time. I'm pretty sure I've seen Stupendous say it in like 2017. Theory's definitely said it in many of his streams in like at
Yeah, that's
minimum
the thing. I
2018 to
think it might
19.
have been like yeah, yeah, yeah. Theory has said it before, but especially more recently, like 2021 to 2023, there were a couple live streams where I distinctly remember me actually tuning into them and being like, "Oh, so after all these years, now he's mentioning the drama. Okay, now I'm interested." But
He never
recently in that
elaborates on it.
video that we're
Yeah.
talking about, what'd you say?
He never elaborates on it in the streams. He just gives a throwaway term, and then now it's all
Yeah, he
come out.
brings it up and then that's it. He doesn't go in detail. But recently he did, and he mentioned that there was an event. He was there, the duo of Star Wars Explained was there, and Eckhart's Ladder was there. He mentioned he got bad vibes from Eckhart's Ladder. They have since aired that out and they said there's no problems between them. However, he remembers that after Eck stopped talking to him, he walked off and he was talking to Alex and Molly from Star Wars Explained.
This
And
is insane.
Molly specifically said, and Theory mentions he's got like these crazy like satellite ears where he can hear stuff that he's not meant to. I can kind of relate to that, but I don't know how big the room was. So I don't know how true his statement is. There would have been loads of people talking, but he accuses Molly of saying, in kind of, um, he doesn't assign malice to her, which is something I think is very telling. He just mentions it in a way that is very displeasing to them that people are using their name to get views. And the insinuation to him seemed to be that because he had just been done talking with Eck, and now they're mentioning that, they're talking about that old beef of him supposedly taking their name. Because if you guys don't know, one of Theory's first ever videos was titled Star Wars Explained. And that's because he was explaining something about Star Wars, but he also, I don't doubt at all, he noticed that there's a channel called that. They seem to get some views fine. Maybe that was his motive for trying it out. It doesn't mean that's what got him success. Theory made
Not at all.
pretty good and well edited videos at a time where that wasn't really that normal for Star Wars. And he sounded like an actual man, which again was not that normal for that era of Star Wars. There were a lot of little kids like me making videos back then, all right?
And
So
not only that, it was made basically his channel was created in a time when there was immense hype for Star Wars. You could talk about anything and it would absolutely blow up. You could talk about, I don't know, the little character in the background of The Force Awakens. That would absolutely go wild. Is it connected to Snoke? Is that connected to the black ring on Snoke's third finger? Like, yeah, it was a very
yeah,
fertile
that's the
time
thing.
to grow a channel.
I posted a political meme in 2016, and it was a Star
Oh,
Wars
great.
Rebels related meme, and that got tens of thousands of views. Imagine a Star Wars Rebels political meme about Trump being elected got tens of thousands of views. That tells you how big that era was. Star Wars Rebels was not a huge show, and political memes in Star Wars weren't a big thing back then. It's not like today we have all this meme culture. No, no, no. It was a very small community. For that to get those kind of views, there was so much hype and very little demand. And Theory plugged that hole, and no one can really take that away from him. He worked very hard. So
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
thing. Like with all this
yeah.
stuff happening, the only conclusion that I can draw is all those rumors back in the day were absolutely true, and that theory has just exposed them as the truth. Now, obviously, it's very. Here's what I'll say. I don't think, and I might be wrong, I don't think Eck has ever disproven the story. And now they're on talking grounds and they're cool, but Eck wouldn't stand for BS. Eck wouldn't allow him to be a
No, it's
means
clear
through
that
which
that was
someone
true.
lies.
Eck would have said it if it
Yeah.
wasn't true. Yeah,
Although it's a one-sided thing, like, oh, he said this, but Explain hasn't replied. Eck
they
definitely,
wouldn't be
like,
on good terms
100%.
if that
Whatever you
wasn't
think
true.
of Eck would have said it was a lie. Definitely.
They wouldn't be, it's not possible to be on good terms with someone if they've just put a massive lie out, so it's obviously true.
Exactly.
All
Exactly. So
right.
that's the thing.
So let's go back to those original rumors about someone putting out hits. If you happen to get a viral video back then, just drop us a quick name. Who do you think it was? This is complete speculation, by the way. There's no accusations being made here. Just your speculation based on informed, educated guess.
To be completely honest, I don't know. I like I said, a lot of people speculated Qui-Gon Josh was one of them.
Yeah, but I'm interested in the
I
second one.
didn't know I didn't know of Star Wars lore until I was making my own YouTube channel, like my second YouTube channel back in 2020.
Wait, Star Wars
And
lore?
I wanted,
The blue one.
yeah, the guy you brought up earlier. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
I didn't know of that person until later. But once I can't, so I was making a YouTube channel. I wanted to be called Star Wars lore. That didn't happen, right? And so the name was taken. So I was like, well, who's this name taken by? I want to see. And I came across their content, and I just because I'm at that time, it was 2020. I was missing because at this time, if you guys don't know, I hate the Mandalorian. I hate everything that Dave Filoni has done except for Star Wars Rebels. Basically, like
We'll do an
I
episode
have
on that.
for a long time, I've been out of Star Wars. This year is me coming back, and I'm having kind of a hard time. But I'm trying to come back into Star Wars. I'm trying to love it again. I'm trying to relive like my childhood love for the fandom. And so even back then in 2020, I was so burnt out. I wanted to relive the good times. I'm like, this guy has a decent amount of subscribers. Let me see how long he's been on here. And he hadn't been on there too long, but he started around about the kind of time that one of those posts was dropped, and he got a good number of views. And I was just thinking in the back of my head, like, I doubt it's him. It would just be too big of a coincidence that I come across his channel. But he's a candidate, and there are a lot of candidates. There are a lot of
Let's go through the
smaller channels at
candidates.
that time.
Let's go through the candidates. So Star Wars lore. Do you think Dash Star is a candidate? Because it was basically. Let me just quickly give the recap. Dash Star started the channel, and then he made some massive, massive videos on Star Wars Rebels, The Force Awakens, TLJ. Sorry, and then we got to TLJ, and then he was like, "Guys, this was horrible. I can't continue." Then he sold the channel to his editor, and now his editor has either rebranded it or sold it to someone else. So it's not even called Star Wars. It's not even called Dash Star anymore. Then it went to Law Star, and now it's some weird. Do you remember it?
I don't. It's pretty long now, right?
Yeah, it's quite long. It's a weird. It's not even Star Wars related anymore, so we won't worry about that. But let's just. Is
Yeah.
Dash Star a candidate?
I think he could be. However, I don't know enough of him as a person to be able to tell if he would have said something like that. Like
Okay.
they were all burner accounts, so it's possible that he just did something unlike him. But I don't know enough about him. Like I know a bit about Qui-Gon Josh. He was just a kid in I think secondary school. Like it could have been him easily. Like kids don't have that kind of thought ahead. But Dash I think was a grown man back then, so I'm not too
Yeah, he
sure.
was. He was in his 30s or something. Not to slander the guy, he might have been younger. um, all right. So Lawmaster, which was known as Fact Free back then.
Here's the thing: fact free, as far as I know, has employed a fair amount of people throughout the history of his channel.
Well,
Maybe I
from
don't
what I
know.
know, it's always been the same guy writing the videos and like managing the channel. It's just the voice actors that have been different and the editors sometimes.
And the editors, that's the main thing. I think there have been a fair few editors. I don't know how much they communicate with each other. Maybe Explain reached out and one of the editors took it the wrong way versus what the higher up, the guy, I don't know his name, the guy who does the writing, maybe he conveyed that and one of the editors took it as like a bad way. And so he put this thing on Reddit trying to be controversial. But I don't know. The thing is, the channel wasn't that big back then. I don't know if he had the money to hire that many editors. Well, like
Okay.
nowadays, he has no problem. But this is back in the days when his channel was, I want to guess,
When he was doing Clone Wars
around
videos.
100K or something.
Yeah, maybe less. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else from that
So
era that you
that's
remember? Star Wars lore guy, not Star Wars lore. Sorry, it was just lore guy, I think.
Lore guy. He does a bunch of what's. I think he's too
He's
recent.
dead,
I
bro.
don't think he's that old.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's super dead. He uploaded like 3 years
No,
ago
no,
or
I
something,
mean he
bro.
might be dead physically because he's gone.
Yeah.
He hasn't uploaded in 3 years. I
The,
still remember when that guy was uploading. That was when I was coming up as a Clone Wars YouTuber back when the Clone Wars season 7 was coming out. So it's very sad to see
yeah,
him gone. I saw some comments saying his girlfriend said he was
yeah.
dead. I don't know if those are legit, but uh, I don't think it was him. Was he uploading back then? Let's see, oldest. Okay, he was a Elder Scrolls YouTuber 10 years ago. When's his first Star Wars video is 9 years ago, and it did very well, 225k. So maybe it was him, but I don't know.
It could have been. It certainly could have been. But like I said, there's just such a lack of information. It's really hard.
Surely it wasn't Vincent Vendetta. He's another one from back then.
I don't think it was Vinny. It could have been. I don't think it was. I don't think he was big enough back then, honestly. I
Well,
think
he
he
had
had
some
like
massive
one or two little
pop-offs.
vids.
Nah, didn't all of his videos pop off? Let's see.
Yeah, but he's like I think most of his videos that really popped are like 2017 onwards.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Uh, actually no, he had the Darth Jar Jar theory. He was the first one. He didn't invent it, guys. Just in case you don't know the history of the Darth Jar Jar theory, a guy on Star Wars Speculation posted it on Star Wars Speculation. He was one of the mods there. He's very corrupt, by the way. I won't go into that now. That's a story for another podcast.
A
And he's
lot of the
also
guys on this like on the r/Star Wars on Star Wars speculation, a lot of you guys suck, bro. Touch some grass, you retards.
not only that. I don't condone that word, guys. Just to let you know.
I do.
Not
That's fine. You can cancel me. Cancel me.
not
Cancel me.
only that.
Cancel any Kestis.
The guy who created the Darth Jar Jar theory. I don't want to ruin you guys' childhood, but there are credible accusations of noncery against him. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's the problem. That these guys are genuinely not mentally stable. So I
yeah.
don't.
Putting
I'm
that
not sure the
aside,
word I used.
he made the post on Star Wars Speculation like 9 years ago, and then Vincent Vendetta was the first guy to pick it up and make a video out of it, and that blew up and got 9.4 million views. Let's see what date that was uploaded. November 8th, 2015. So, damn, he was already huge in 2015 off one video. So maybe he was
Damn. Okay. You know
attacked
what?
after one viral vid.
Maybe.
And
Maybe.
let's go into this. Why not? We're just airing all the early drama from the Star Wars community YouTube. Um,
This podcast has completely changed, by the way, guys. It's gonna have a different title now.
yeah, we might have to change the title on this one. It's not even about Star Wars crumbling. Anyway, Urban Acolyte had deep beef with Vincent Vendetta. He went on a Twitter tirade, and basically for many years, in case I'm guessing most of you don't follow Vincent Vendetta very closely because he barely uploads, but for about 3 to 5 years, he disappeared off YouTube. His channel was gone, all of his videos were gone, and Urban Acolyte made a thread saying, "Guys, there's a reason Vincent Vendetta was gone, and it's because he copied all of his videos word for word from a Huffington Post article." I found the article; it wasn't word for word, but it was very similar, and all of the points were the same. But I mean, that's that's just the game. That's what YouTube is. That's what he did with the Jar Jar theory. He transpiled that from a Reddit thread into a YouTube video, and he did the same with the Ray theory. But anyway, they had massive beef, and then Vincent Vendetta ended up coming back. His current videos haven't had as much success as the recent ones. But yeah, so he's a candidate.
Definitely not.
I don't know if you knew that story about Urban Acolyte beefing with Vincent.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the thing. This is the thing.
Oh
A
my
lot of the
god, can
stuff
I air
back in the
something?
day.
Sorry, you just reminded me.
Go on.
Alright, this part may have to be cut out. Yeah, actually, I don't know if I can say this part. This may get me sued.
Come on, bro.
Alright, I might
Come
beep
on.
it, but I'm going to say it on the stream.
I'm alleging everything you say.
Alright, this is allegedly. It's not alleged, I have the screenshots, but anyway, it's alleged. Uh, Urban Acolyte has made serious accusations against Lawmaster, who was fact-free at the time, racism accusations against Lawmaster,
Oh
saying
yeah.
he's anti-black. Lawmaster did
Yeah, I
make some comments
remember.
after a black shooting, which I'm not gonna say him on the stream because I can't remember.
They were unsavory. However, Urban Acolyte is like a professional victim. This guy loves to get in drama. Like he really does.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. This may have to be cut. This
Yeah.
part. We're gonna get
Nah,
sued to
okay,
hell.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Any accusation like this doesn't really matter. This was years ago. All the tweets have been deleted, including I think by Urban Acolyte at this point. The guy, like, he did a lot for the early community. He's not mentally stable. He's just not.
I'm not
He
going to
isn't.
take away from his commitment to Star Wars lore in the early days, but yeah, he
He's
was.
got issues, bro.
We won't go into that, but yeah. I think he's currently in Thailand as a martial arts expert. He's a Bruce Lee mega fan.
That's the thing. That's what kills me about this. I used to follow him so much. He's such a cool guy. There's so much cool about him. But he says some of the dumbest, most unhinged stuff on social media, like accusing Star Wars YouTubers of racism, for example.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Um, all right, who else? Since this is basically a podcast about the Star Wars YouTube early community, let's just keep going on this. Uh, who else was back then? Who was big back then? I'm gonna pull up that family tree. While you think, I'm gonna pull up that family tree.
Okay. Well, if we're going way back, of
Yeah,
course
we're
we have
going way
Evan
back.
Nova.
Ah, no, there's no way it was him. He was barely relevant by
No,
the
it
Force
definitely
Awakens
wasn't,
time.
but we're just going way back for the sake of memories to now. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there was I don't know, his name is like Mandalore, but it's not it's like
Yep,
Manda dash lore or something.
yep, yep, yep. He's still active.
I I don't know when he started. I think he has two channels. One of them's older, and he
Yes, he
was a
does.
Legends guy who took a lot of issues with canon. Um, this is my personal theory when I was a child. Don't put too much faith in this. But
Yeah,
I was thinking like around that time he was starting to gain a lot of traction from people because this is around the time where Disney bought Star Wars. People were becoming more aware of the fact that George Lucas has been retconning Legends the whole time, and now Disney is literally just throwing it out. And so his channel really started to experience a lot of growth back then, even more nowadays, but a lot back then for sure. Um, I always had a theory that maybe he wasn't necessarily one of the people, but I always felt like maybe Explain had reached out to him. Like all this stuff was building in my head as a child. I'm just thinking like,
that's
if Explain
interesting.
likes doing this kind of stuff, he definitely could have reached out to someone who wasn't necessarily that pro Disney in an attempt to maybe try and work with him and get some of his audience onto the Disney train. Because that's something he's done before. He has tried to appeal to Legends fans a lot, especially when he was Star Wars Minute. Most of his videos were Legends, I think. So I definitely could
All
see that
right,
happening.
that's very
But again,
interesting.
that's a theory from when I was like a 16-year-old child.
I can't
So
see it personally, but it's very interesting. It's definitely not Grey Jedi 91. He's like the father of Star Wars YouTube. I wouldn't slander him even if
oh
he
yeah.
did do that. He's like the father of us all. So, um,
Didn't he make like a book channel or something and then quit?
I don't know. I don't know. That's something we need to research for the doc. That's interesting. I
Yeah.
haven't heard about that. Antoine Bandele, do you remember that guy? He's still active now.
Oh
He's doing
man,
Avatar content now.
that that guy is very charismatic.
Uh, go into that a bit more. I don't know about that.
I mean, it's just like he has a very certain way of saying things, you know? Like
I can
sometimes he
kind of see what you
just
mean.
says
Yeah.
things which, yeah, but he says them in a way that you're like, yeah, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you
But
remember Gen
he's
Sarai
very
1?
controversial for sure. That's the thing.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I don't think he made the posts. I can't see him doing it. Although he is a very
Nah, I
active
don't think
Reddit
so.
user. On a lot of his streams, he's on Reddit posting and looking at threads and stuff. So maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Do you remember Gen Sarai 1?
I don't.
Alright, I'm gonna pull up his channel. I'll send you a link. You'll definitely be
Right,
reminded by this. Gen
let's
Sarai
see.
1 he's an early EU YouTuber. He did a lot of top tens, I think, or like versus battles.
Oh, all right. Let's see this link. I think I might.
It's in the chat on this
Yeah,
server.
yeah. I recognize the profile picture immediately. I knew
Damn,
it
he
would be
hasn't
that.
changed it in years. Let's see, what's his
It's
most
it's
popular? Yep, Yoda vs. Plagueis.
let's see. He still makes videos. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's active, but they're not very popular anymore. So those are the EU guys that we've got in the tree.
As a
After that,
child, as a child, I because these are some of his biggest videos. I will never forget. He made these videos that I obsessed over as a kid because I always was into sword fighting. I always wanted to like do Star Wars sword fighting in a way because I was a child. These videos from 12 years ago. Don't bully me, all right, guys. Um, he has hundreds of thousands of views on these videos, which are just explaining how Star Wars combat works, how the different lightsaber forms work, how they interact with one another, how they work functionally, how they work from a lore perspective. Like that was just. Those videos, man, were crazy.
Bro, that's what got me into Star Wars, like the lore, real big time. It's those early lore videos, Stupendous Wave especially, really got me in. So I have a big thanks to Stupendous Wave. Um,
Yeah, honestly, as a kid, most of my Star Wars consumption was Stupendous Wave because he was around before Theory, way, way before. He used to do like
used to do
what
dinosaur
did he used to do?
videos.
He used to do Dinosaur, Avengers, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think he has a whole different channel for Avengers nowadays, but it used to be Stupendous Wave, Star Wars Minute, and a little bit of Fact Free. He wasn't that big back then. I remember eventually I got into YouTubers like Theory, like Geesley, Bombastic, and those kinds of guys.
yeah, because you were
Generation
more on the
Tech as
gaming
well.
side, way more on the gaming side than me. I didn't really care about the Battlefront side.
Yeah, that's the thing. As a kid, I was so excited for the Battlefront games. So first of all, imagine my disappointment. Secondly, like I was so into that side of YouTube. I was loving it, especially like Geesley's has the original Star Wars, like the original Battlefront loading screen as his intro, and that just like I felt
I
right
can
at
imagine
home
the
from that.
nostalgia
Like I,
pulse.
I was
Yeah,
such a big fan.
yeah. I'm gonna bring a massive wild card in. I doubt you've heard of this guy, unless I've mentioned it before. Do you remember a guy called Star Wars Community?
I think I do. I think you've mentioned before. I think when we were making the doc, maybe.
Yeah, I think this was it. He has a few massive videos from 8 years ago. This was when Rebels was airing. Just remember, guys, there are not many Star Wars YouTubers who were actively uploading while Rebels was airing. There was basically Dash Star, um, Theory definitely wasn't. Who else? This guy, a couple others. These videos are just insane to look at many years later. It's like, damn, he was getting massive views on Rebels content as it was
Okay,
airing.
okay, 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 okay. All right, this isn't the guy, right? But do you see what I mean? Like this is what I said earlier. There were a lot of channels who came and went within like 9 to 12 months, and they dropped some huge videos. Look at this guy's uploads.
Yep.
Starts off with nothing, gradually climbs, gets some huge videos. He just died. He just disappeared out of nowhere. He didn't even finish Rebels.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe the Han. And did he stop right before the Han's? No, he went after the Han movie. Um, what to expect from Captain Phasma in Episode 8? When did he stop? I wonder when. Did he stop before Last Jedi? I wonder if he was so angry by
No, he
Last Jedi.
he he stopped before Rogue One, bro.
No,
He stopped
I don't think so.
July
Let me see his
20th,
latest.
2016.
Oh, what the hell?
That's what I'm saying, bro. This time period is so full of mysteries. This
I
is
know.
this is literally the perfect example.
This is very, very weird, guys. Oh my god. In his comments is Sith Rain. Sith Rain. Do you know Sith Rain?
Yeah, he has a connection to Urban, right?
Yes, he does, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'll need to look in the tree, but this guy, okay, so I need to connect this guy to community. Guys, we're making the tree live here. Oh my god. Citrain, basically he was bullied out of YouTube. He did one of the best like voice acting performances on his videos, but everyone was like, bro, you talk too slow. And then he got bullied out of making vids, which is quite sad to see because they were very well made.
Yeah, that's the oh man. This guy, he's another one who did those lightsaber form videos, man. I remember. This is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. He really, yeah, he really, really like put some voice acting into his videos instead of just reading. This is going down memory lane. Meta Nerds, everyone knows Meta Nerds. He's still active. He started in
Yeah.
2016. Meta Nerds
Who
lore.
was that guy? There was a guy who he remade his channel because he thought YouTube was suppressing him. He's like an OG YouTuber and his new channel just died. I think he might have even deleted it.
I can remember it. Yes.
Because he was like, yeah, YouTube's ruining me. I'm gonna make a new
Was it
channel.
Star
I'll
Wars
see you guys
HQ?
there when I hit like 100K. No, I don't think so.
No, I know who you're talking about. It's like a golden logo or something.
Something like that, yeah.
I can't remember who that was, but yeah, that's crazy.
They had
Yeah,
like a
Meta
super
Nerds.
professional setup because they were doing YouTube for years. They're like, yeah, I'll see you guys there. And now everyone on the new channel is wondering, why has this guy got such a professional setup? He's got
Yeah,
like
who was
3K
it? Who was
subs.
it? Who was it? I remember going through this with you. Who was it? Damn, guys, we're never gonna remember.
Yeah, I don't
Damn.
know. I give
Yeah,
up.
I know who it is, but I don't know who. It wasn't Star Wars HQ. me see. No, I don't think it's Star Wars HQ.
By the way, guys, while we're here, if you guys used to be a fan of Battlefront Knight, he used to make well Battlefront
Oh
videos,
yeah, let's go
obviously.
into this.
Yeah, he unfortunately, this is I'm not gonna like make fun of this. I think it's very funny the way things ended up going, right? But I'm not making fun of the actual incident, right? Unfortunately, his sister passed away. And I think he mentioned something to do with work or university or something like that. And after he finished that, because his sister died, he just didn't know what to do and he just didn't feel comfortable making YouTube videos, right? Completely understandable, completely fair. However, he meant Star Wars videos. He didn't want to make Star Wars videos because before that, he had started a channel about The Witcher and he still uploads to this day regularly every week. So he maybe he just because of his grief he didn't necessarily word it correctly, but I was just randomly because I was going through the Witcher books recently. I was randomly binging background content. I was like, man, this guy has a real familiar voice, and I started working out listening to his voice. And in the middle of a set, I'm just like, dude, this is Battlefront Update. Sorry, not Battle. This is
Battlefront
Battlefront
Night.
Night.
Yeah,
Battlefront Updates is a very interesting case. That guy, he cannot catch a win. That poor guy.
we'll go into that after this.
Yeah. So anyway, he made this Witcher channel. He gets way more success on that than he ever did on Star Wars stuff. So good for him. But I just found that funny how I always thought like, oh no, this guy has a sad ending. That sucks, man. I really love this guy's content. But no, he's doing fine. Just completely different franchise.
Yeah, that's insane because he kind of made it sound like he has to quit all of content creation because he's just so
Yeah,
devastated
and
by
the
his
thing,
sister's loss, which is sad. We're not making fun
the
of
th-
that, but
yeah, the thing that's worse too. Before Battlefront Night, he had like COD Night or something or like Night QZ or something. He had a Call of Duty Zombies channel, which he then abandoned for Star Wars, and now he's then abandoned that for The Witcher.
yeah. What was that case I just said we're going to get into?
Battlefront
Battlefront Night
updates.
update. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. Tell us about
Yeah.
that. I'm not too familiar with this one.
All right. First of all, I don't like him. All right. I need to get out I need to get it
Is this
out of
the
the way.
Elliot
I
guy?
have a bias. Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you remember the story I told you when his cat was sick?
No, I don't. Let's
I
say
had
it
a
on the
YouTube
podcast.
channel. I'm not going to say what it was because Star Force knows, but I don't want the audience to know. I had a YouTube channel called Star Wars something. Right now, remember, Star Wars lore was taken, but I still went with Star Wars something. His cat was sick. It was like dying or something. Like it was bad. And I jumped in his live stream, and there was barely anybody there. There was like a one or two messages per minute. I was like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'd been watching content for a while. This is just the first time I'd hopped on as this YouTube channel making Star Wars content. I'm like, hey man, that really sucks to hear. I'm sorry. I wish you all the best, and I hope your cat heals." He stopped, and I could see like him reading it out with his
Oh
lips.
no.
And he looked at my name, and he just kept playing the game. And I was like, you suck. How ignoring me because I have Star Wars in my name and you think I'm some kind of competition? You little man child. What is wrong with you? Anyway, I donated and I didn't care that much. But it just really rubs me the wrong way. I've never had a good opinion of that guy professionally since then. That's the most ridiculous way to act.
Yeah, that's it. I
But
do
whatever.
remember that now. Yeah, that's what
The
happened
thing that
with
makes
me
it
in
worse,
theory.
by the way.
Let's air it. Let's air it all. I don't care. This is what happened with me in theory.
Okay.
I went into Theory's live stream on his gaming channel, and because I had the verified tick, he obviously saw me as competition. I was saying the friendliest shit. I was just like, "Yeah, how you going?" And I wasn't even talking to him. I was talking to other people in the chat as well. Because I had the tick, he obviously thought I was trying to promote the channel, which is ridiculous. I don't need your promotion. I've already got the tick. Um,
Exactly.
and yeah, so after that, he was like, "Yeah." He said on, I think he said, did he say it on a stream or something? He was like, "Yeah, that guy
He said
just
it on
self
stream, yeah.
promotes." Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he said on the stream, someone had mentioned Starforce's name, and he was like, "Yeah, that guy, he just self-promoted in my chat. I've never had a good opinion of him." Now, here's the thing: it's the similar case with Elliot. Though I'm not just saying like big ego. Yeah, it's because of my name or whatever. He kept like I tried again and again, and every time he kept skipping my message to read the next person. I'm just like, "You suck! How dare you,
That's
you
dodgy.
evil man!"
Yeah, I
But
wonder what the
anyway,
hell happened there. He obviously saw you as some
um,
type of competition. Yeah.
yeah, I don't. I'm pretty sure by that time I had like I was because I started YouTube uploading daily, and I think I had like 3 subscribers, and two of them were my mom and my grandma. So I mean, I wasn't that much of a threat really.
It's a humble
But
start.
anyway, yeah. Um, so unfortunately, Elliot, because this is the whole reason we started talking about him. I just want to get the fact I do have a bias. Let that play in here.
Okay.
But there's not that many known facts about this, other than he's not good at YouTube, right? I'm just gonna say it. He has been making the same kind of content for a long time. He has like an Elgato. I think he's partnered with them, so he does giveaways every now and then, and that's kind of one of the pulls. The other pull he has towards his content over other people is he's part of the what is it called? The EA access thing. Like he
EA
gets to go to
EA
events and do stuff
preferred or something.
early,
Is it EA preferred? Something
something
like
like
that.
that. Yeah. So he gets this special treatment and he's able to do stuff early. When Battlefront 2 was getting the big updates like Grievous and stuff, he was out there at events having early access, being able to play the game and give reviews. It was good content. That's why I followed him in the first place. However, Star Wars games have stagnated. He has not innovated. He has
Yeah.
done the same content for probably like 8 years or something. He's been doing this for a while. I think since Battlefront 1. It has been a long time. He hasn't changed the content. He is upset at YouTube because he's making less and less money because there's less and less views because Star Wars games are basically dead, especially because he's called Battlefront updates. Battlefront is dead. It's literally
Star
dead.
Wars itself is dead, and the gaming section of Star Wars is even more dead.
Exactly.
And that leads us to contrast with his, I don't know, competitor, who was a very smart man, Aussie Jedi, who realized Star Wars was
Yeah.
going off the tubes, off the cliff, down the tubes, into the sewer, and he made another channel called, is it Movie Overload or Movie Outload or something?
Yeah.
This man, within 2 videos, very well edited, he started it off with a familiar topic, which was Star Wars, so he could connect it to the old channel, and then after that, he's just been having banger after banger, discussing pop culture, movies, movie reviews, going into why movies are so bad now, all the shows, TV shows from Star Wars and other content. He is so smart to pivot out of Star Wars from a gaming channel. Gaming and Star Wars
He
was
is.
already,
Yeah.
yeah, it was dead, and he pivoted out perfectly. So he's very smart.
And this is the worst part. This is the absolute worst part. He refused to acknowledge that he was the problem for the longest time. I'm talking about Elliot here,
Yeah,
Battlefront
okay, okay,
updates.
yeah.
So he refused for the longest time until eventually all this clip stuff, like all these clip channels, like X clips and stuff, were blowing up. He decided, you know what? I really need money apparently for some reason. So I'm gonna make a clips channel. And apparently he started actually making really good money. I don't know if he did something or if it was YouTube. It could have been either. I'm not going to pretend that YouTube is flawless. It definitely isn't. I've had my own issues with them. They almost deleted my channel once for cursing somebody, um, or a large group of people. But yeah, YouTube is not perfect. However, he kept whining on Twitter, like, "Wow, I'm making less money. Wow, my clip is demonetized." He was making like 90-second clips, and he was crying as if they were like $1 million portraits he labored hundreds of thousands of hours on making. Like,
Yeah.
dude, get over it and make more clips. Like, just stop whining, you baby.
Yeah, I remember the Clips era. The Clips era lasted from, I think, after Bad Batch. So I think it was Eckhart's Ladder that noticed, wow, if I upload a short clip, which is covering one small topic and a clickbaity
I don't
title,
think so.
I think he started it, didn't he? Or was it someone else?
Maybe, but I don't think it was on the time. I was working for somebody else at that time during the whole shorts epidemic, and that's how I got my job. It wasn't until I sent him an email, I think maybe midway into 2022, around that kind of time, or maybe beginning of 2022. I told him, like, hey, boss, I've noticed there's a lot of YouTubers doing this. I've heard from a friend of mine who does these that you make more income if you get the video past this length, but you keep it under this length. He was like, okay, we'll try that. And then he made an absolute ton of money. Um, doing that. And so I think it was around 2022.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's Bad Batch season two, I think. So yeah, that makes sense. That was an interesting era. Basically everyone and their dog was making clips channels on Star Wars. They cashed in. I tried to do it on the main channel. That did not work. Um,
Yeah,
but hey, it was worth a try. And then yeah, that died out. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. X Clips, is it still doing well? Let me have a look. I don't
it's
think it's
doing
doing
pretty
it.
well. It's not amazing.
It's not like it used to be.
Yeah, the
Oh,
same goes for
okay.
his hockey one, by the way.
Oh, really? I didn't know. Oh, okay, no, he's
I
doing
think
very
so. I
well.
think so.
52K was the last one. 20K, 20K,
That's the thing though.
17,
He's doing
52K.
pretty well, but he used to be getting like a couple 100,000
Oh,
on
yeah.
some of these.
And
Like
there's some
he,
million
yeah,
ones.
Yeah.
He literally just uploaded the
Like
final fight
nowadays,
of Kenobi.
nowadays he'll upload an outrageously edited thumbnail of Amanda Stenberg and her boobies, and that will get like maybe like 30K or like 70K.
Let me find that
So,
one. How
you
long
know,
ago was that? Let me
it's not
find it.
yeah, it's very recent. It's very recent. It's like I cannot believe they did this or something like that.
I think he took it down.
And then he
I
has
can't
that
see it.
picture. Let me search it up. Your viewers are gonna hear me typing.
Unless it was over a month ago. I'm looking
I
at
don't
it
think
now,
it was.
guys.
Maybe I'm just stupid though.
Maybe it was on the main channel.
Let's see. It might
Oh
have
no,
been
no, I see
actually.
it there.
Let
This is
me
absolutely disgusting. 3 weeks ago.
let me check. Yeah, yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. That's the one, dude.
Yeah.
It has 140K. That's way more than I saw last time. It has been 3 weeks. That makes sense. But you can see, like, look at the two clips before that. 60K, 60K. They're just regular pictures of the acolyte. He does that though. Ooh, all of a sudden 150K.
I wonder how much that channel
Those
is
racist,
making.
those. By the way, those racist people who love watching hate videos on the acolyte must really like black women. I'm just saying.
That's something we won't go into. All right. Do you remember Star Wars Imperial Historian? This is very obscure. I didn't even know
I
him.
do.
Oh, really?
I do. Yeah.
Go into him. What
Well,
was he?
I do, but not because it's an OG. Because he's on the dock. We've done this before.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the guy that made the channel. Shit, he's
Uh,
active. He is active.
is he still?
Yep, he uploaded 2 weeks ago. Star Wars Outlaws.
How long has he been doing it for like 7 years or like 8 years?
Let's see, oldest 7 years. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
His
I,
videos
I
never
do
really
remember
did
him
that well,
actually.
but that's still.
Yeah, never too hot, but he has grown over time. That's the thing.
Uh, it looks like yeah, he never did that well.
Yeah,
His most popular
but he,
videos are
he
like
has good quality content. We love him.
73K. Yeah, yeah, he does. Let's see who else is on the dock.
Oh, what was that channel? There was a company thing. They were making all these. It was like a have you ever seen like Xbox Ahoy or like Outside Xbox or something?
No, I haven't. Oh,
Or like PlayStation Access. There's these
not Game
channels like it's a
Ranks.
company and they get yeah. It's a company. They have a group of people, but they're just doing like these cash cow milk kind of videos on a topic. There was one of those who did it for Star Wars, and they made so much money, and then they just died out of nowhere. This is pretty early canon days too. Like they
What
just
was the channel
disappeared out of
called?
nowhere. They just combusted. I don't know. I don't remember the name.
All right, that one's interesting. Who else? Who else? Let's think. Who else was back then? We've covered most of the big ones. Oh my God, Daryl's Wonderland.
Oh man.
We can't go
Oh,
too hard
you
on
know
this
who? I
guy.
can't believe we forgot. I can't believe it.
Who?
Mike Zero.
Oh my God. He's not even on the dock. Let me add him.
That
That's
guy's a
insane.
classic, dude.
Yeah. Daryl's Wonderland is hilarious. He just copied Theory direct, the intro music. He copied me on some vids. Uh, he basically copied everyone. I'm pretty sure they're all down now.
I was
Fuck.
really touched and inspired when do you remember I sent you that time? A guy was a fan of mine and he made some cool videos, so I became a fan of his. And he copied my video word for word, including my accent. So he said something I never said because he mistook my accent. And
Wait, this is
within like
Daryl.
5 minutes, huh?
This is Daryl, is it?
No. It's something. That's the thing. His
Can we name him?
his career ended before it started because I was one of his first subscribers, and
Can we name
I'm
this guy?
also. I will say his first name, and that's it.
Okay.
Leo. All right, Leo. I remember you, buddy. All right. So I have a British accent, and so when I say I don't say like I say some things with an American accent because that's how I heard the word through video games and movies as a kid. However, I do have a British accent like this. So I said bloodline. What did I say, Star Force?
Bloodline.
Exactly. Yeah. So he thought I said bloodline, and so I was listening to this video, and I'm like, huh. I'm pretty sure I've said that before. Huh, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, that sentence didn't make any grammatical sense. What do you mean, a bloodline? It's like he walked a bloodline between light and dark. I was like, no, he walked a bloodline. Like, hold on a second.
Blurred
What
line.
what did
Yeah.
you just say? So I forget exactly the minute. It was like within a matter of a couple minutes. I commented on the video. I'm like, this looks kind of familiar. The whole video was deleted. Luckily, I was able to download it in time because I wanted to share it to my friends who I was making videos with. It was very funny,
Oh
but
my God.
that was the funniest thing ever. The
It
thing is,
was. Yep. Go
that
on.
was a funny experience for me. Daryl's Wonderland did that to Theory unironically and made so much money.
Yep. And he also did a fan film in the same style as Theory with the same videos, same actors. He fucking cloned the guy's life. I'll show. There's
Maybe
actually
he
a,
actually is. He's actually Theory's lost long twin. That's the thing.
there's actually since we're airing everything today, this is just airing every bit of beef. There's a guy that stole my video exactly same thumbnail. His name was Darkside Mike back in the day. I'm on chill terms with him now, so I won't go too deep. Uh, he's changed his name now, and I don't know what it's called. Star Wars. Ah, damn. How Ahsoka
I'm not
got.
gonna say this because you wouldn't want me to. But there's someone else who did that who you're also cool with, but they are way more successful.
Oh, I think I know who that is.
Yeah, something to
Bro,
do with lightsabers.
okay, his name's Phoenix Squadron now. You can go check him out. He's got a chill channel now. And then somebody ripped that guy off. I'll show you in the chat.
No way.
I'll show you in the chat. This is insane. There's no difference between these thumbnails, and I've done this as well, so I don't like. I'm not calling anyone out, but look at
Oh
that.
man,
That's
that's
exact,
crazy.
bro. Red five.
Yeah, okay. That I Here's the thing. There's a reason that guy randomly stumbled upon a genius thumbnail technique. He definitely stole it from someone.
Who are we talking about? Red five or Phoenix?
I'll just say it, Red 5, he steals thumbnails.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, everyone does, but some are worse than others. All right. So who else? Pente Patrol. Do you have any stories about him? I'm pretty sure you do because I'm pretty sure you were in contact with him.
Okay. I reached out to him one time. I don't remember exactly what it was. Okay, no, I remember now. So I, at this time period, was pretty well known for doing what ifs. Like pretty well known. I wasn't a big channel, but there weren't that many big channels doing what ifs
Within the What Ifs
besides like
community, you were
Theory.
known. Yeah.
Yeah. And so besides one other guy who actually had a smaller channel than me, but he got more views, I was like basically the what if guy. People There were like a few dozen people begging me for certain ideas every day, like the same ones. Like there were probably like 50 plus comments a day. Do what if this, what if that? And I see this guy upcoming, Pente Patrol. He only had a few videos at this time, and I'm like, man, he's putting these out pretty consistently, but they're not that well edited. I wonder if I can hire him to write scripts for me, because this is around the same sort of time YouTube started paying me pretty well, like a few hundred a month. And so I was like, okay, let me reach out. I started getting a thumbnail guy. I got some guy to help me edit. So I was like, let me reach out to him and see if I can get some scripts. Because the thing I struggled most with What Ifs was actually developing an idea into a full script. I didn't struggle with ideas. And so I was like, okay, let me do this. I write to him on Twitter. He seemed like a very nice guy. I don't have anything bad to say about him. It's just a funny story. He's like, actually, I have way more money than you could offer me. You could work for me. And at this time, I was kind of like, I
That's
was
insane.
starting university. And I was like, he kind of has a point. He does have way more money than me. Hey, I'll get back to you on that. I never did get back to him on that. The channel made enough money. I was comfortable.
I'm pretty sure that wouldn't
Um,
be a good working environment. Starting off on that foot, that's just a bit insane.
Probably, yeah. It did, like, now it doesn't come off that well. But back then I was just like, you know what? Ego be damned. He has a point. He has a lot more money than me.
Damn.
But yeah, that's the thing. Then he started hiring a ton of people to help him edit. I think he might have hired someone to help him write because he started uploading way more often. He did the voice himself. He actually has a nice voice. Shout out to him. But he started getting like thumbnails designers, all this kind of stuff. He has a ginormous channel now. His views are kind of dead sometimes, but he does have a way bigger channel now than he ever had back then and than I ever had. So his success is owed. A lot of hard work happens. It's just he had capital I didn't. And I found it really funny that I went up to him with money in my hands and then it kind of
He
turned into
slapped
like,
you in the
oh,
face.
like my hands are open. Like, you want to pay me?
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
All right, I'm gonna bring another guy up. This guy, I don't even watch his content on YouTube. I just see him on Twitter every day, making the most just shill comments. I'm sorry, we're not calling him a shill, but The comments he makes are very pro Disney, which it's fine. You can be pro Disney. Vader's Order. Do you know Vader's Order?
I don't.
188k subs. I'm not sure if it's through Shorts. It might be. Okay, it is through Shorts. And it's all copied off another guy called Vader's Fortress, which is copied off another guy called Lawmaster, who ended up hiring him to fucking edit one of his videos. Uh,
Interesting.
but we're not going to go too deep into that. But Vader's Order, basically, every day on Twitter, this guy posts, "The Acolyte was amazing. Please renew The Acolyte. You're a bigot if you didn't like The Acolyte." It's just because he's annoyed me on Twitter, that's the only reason I'm saying this. But his content may be good. I don't know, I haven't seen it. I guess you haven't either.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of guys like that, especially that cock Kyle Katarn,
Alright, we're
who
not
has
going.
terrible content.
You can go into that. I don't
Terrible
condone.
content.
But if you can go into that.
He posts all this nonsense on Twitter, being all inclusive, and then deleting the video because there weren't enough black people in it or something. Like, hello, like
Alright, you
this
have to
guy
note that
is
down.
so fake. No. This guy is so fake. He will do anything to please anyone unless you have politically different views than him, and that's so toxic. He will praise Disney for anything because they have politically the same views as him, and that is so toxic. There is no world in which Kyle Katarn is happy without things being exactly the way they are right now, where he is able to just constantly grift by hating on people who are speaking passionately about something in a calm and civilized way, like, for example, Star Wars Theory. That guy is so pathetic. He is such a loser. Again, I've mentioned this previously. I don't remember if we even posted it, but
On
we're
the
going to post this
Adicasters
now.
channel.
Yeah, maybe. He made a tweet saying that this isn't how Hollywood should work. And every executive replied, like, that's the only way it can work. This is how it does work. There's no reason to change it. He's like, nah, you're wrong. Like, hello? These people literally work for the studios that you're criticizing and saying they're doing business the wrong way. And he has such a huge ego, which is only stroked by little fanboys and girls agreeing with him, that literal corporate people who actually have careers in the field that he's criticizing are nothing to him. Their opinions are meaningless to him because he's Kyle Katarn. He has all these YouTube subscribers. He is the number one most viewed, and he's critiqued the most amount of found films. Who cares? Leave your basement at some point, dude. Who cares about that number? Nobody. Like, who do you think you are?
Do you want to go into the "There Are More Than Us" video? There are more of us video.
Yeah, there. Okay, Kyle Katarn. I don't know if he's the host. He apologized for it, so I assume he had something major to do with it.
He was in the
He
video.
he was in the video, but I think he might have had something to do with making it, or at least he affiliated with the person who made it, and like he
Well,
organized,
let's go into
he
the guy
got
that made it.
people to
Around the
be in it,
Galaxy is the guy that
basically.
made it. Around the Galaxy.
Yeah,
And then
ATG, the guy who blocked me for saying quote for quote, "You're wrong." He blocked me for that. That
he
guy
claims to be the
was in
most,
charge of making this video.
bro, he claims to be the most positive guy, but he's the most toxic guy ever if you actually read what he says on Twitter.
Yeah, he literally cussed me out and blocked me for saying "you're wrong" in quotes. That's it. He is genuinely mentally inflicted with some kind of insane, severely awful, terrible thing that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. All right.
Hmm.
But anyway, that guy and Kyle Katarn and all these toxic positive people, they decide, you know what? And this is legitimate. This is fair. I'm not criticizing this. There was a lot of racism that was happening as the Acolyte was coming out. They said we stand against that. So they made a video saying there are more than us. That there are more of us, and there are of the haters, the bigots, the racists, things like that. Okay, fine. You have me on board, right? People, I think like Darth Choco, people like Supreme Emperor, black people, white people, Mexican people, whoever,
Don't
they
forget
were
the
all.
catfish.
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll do that part last. We'll do that part last.
Yeah.
All right. So all of these different people from all sorts of different backgrounds, ethnicities, everything, they all came together to speak on behalf of the Star Wars fandom, saying there are more of us. Except there weren't enough because Kyle Katarn deleted that video and said sorry because people were complaining there weren't enough black people. People were complaining there weren't enough Asian people. People were complaining there weren't enough gay people or trans people. People were complaining that he affiliated himself, a toxic positive, with ATG, a bigger toxic positive. And so he just deleted it. He distanced himself, everything like that. And it happens to be that one of the people it was, I think it's the only person perhaps who didn't have their camera on during this whole little speech they were giving. And it's some, what was her name, like Amy or Emma or something?
Um, I can't remember. It was. Uh, keep going. I'll try and think of it. I'll try and find it.
All right. So yeah, you might be able to find it on one of their accounts. So there was this girl, in quotes, who loved
Ash
Star Wars
Render.
and she'd
Ash
been part of
Render.
the community. Ash Rendar, yes. Okay, I thought like Amy,
And
Ash.
just
Okay,
keep in mind, this
so
was a big person in the community. She was she in quotes was posting like every day as that part of in that part of the fandom.
they were online all the time. They were arguing with people all the time. They were
Yeah.
helping people all the time. They genuinely did some level of good. They were helping people get into Star Wars. Cool. They didn't want to reveal stuff because it would risk their job or something along those lines, right? They didn't want the haters to come after them and their families, something like that. Okay, fine, understandable. The whole toxic positive community and the haters community were actually fairly okay with that, right? She gets included in this video. There's this voice which is feminine, which says like there are more of us, blah blah blah. But the picture
How did they make that
is
voice?
it's a face app thing. Like it's some kind of animated character. I think it's meant to be like a female version of Poe or something, if I remember right. They have Poe's jacket or so, or Finn, or I don't know. But
Isn't there a character
they,
Dash? Yeah, Dash Render, female version maybe.
yeah, their name is based on Dash Rendar, but they're Ash, so it's a woman. Haha, funny. Okay, so they have all this stuff which is mixed match from around the fandom, and they make this account Ash Rendar, and they're super positive about Star Wars. They love it. They hate racists. They really hate trans haters and things like that, and they hate bigots of all kinds and all this. Well, turns out they got exposed for not being transgender. That's not the crime. They were a man pretending to be a woman so they could try to hit up people. And funnily enough,
Including Kyle
this is
Katarn.
the thing, you can't take them for fact. But Kyle, as far as I know, hasn't directly or properly or appropriately responded to this. This person was trying to get some ick and some ussy from different people. All right, we'll say that. And one of these people was Kyle Katarn. And apparently, according to the screenshots, he was super interested. Now that's really interesting. It's almost as if these people like physically, literally, actually depend on each other for survival. It's very interesting to me. Perhaps that's because he doesn't know what it's like to step into the real world and experience something for real. Maybe, who knows? Just a theory, a game theory. But she was exposed. She was canceled. Turns out she had receipts on a bunch of people. Unfortunately, the account was like completely removed and everything. So a lot of the information is just based on people screenshotted something that they screenshotted and things like that. But the whole fandom erupted around that because it was such
Yeah,
a
yeah,
big deal that one, there was this con artist who was in the fandom. Two,
yeah.
apparently they were in some female only group chats and they were like leaking stuff. That's creepy. I'm not condoning that. Three, it was so crazy to everybody that Kyle Katarn just like brushed it off, like who cares what happened, right? Now, look, two consenting adults, fine, whatever. I don't care, I don't care. But it's so interesting to me that he is all for this, you know, super positive. There are more of us and all this, but as soon as he gets the slightest bit of controversy for that, he doesn't address it. The slightest bit of controversy for all this suspicious stuff he may have wanted to do with somebody, he that didn't happen.
There's also
No,
one other.
nothing, nothing.
There's also one other part of this drama. ATG, the guy who organized it, the guy is from I think it's Force Resistance Broadcast. Do you know who I'm talking about? The John Doe guy. I think it's John
Um,
Doe. Basically,
I no.
that podcast came out with a statement and said, I'm not going to name the name, but the guy who created that video attacked one of the female co-hosts of that channel while she was pregnant. Made an alt, which is still up. It's called Steve Talks. Not Steve Talks. Steve
Oh
Palpatine.
yeah, yeah.
Not to bring Steve Talks into this. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
Steve
shout out to
Palpatine.
him, bro. Clone Wars sucks. Yeah.
Steve Palpatine. Yeah. And the guy was just absolutely shit talking everyone in the fandom, including especially those guys on the broadcast, the Resistance broadcast, basically to the
Yeah.
point of tears while she was pregnant. It was yeah, the guy's horrible. The guy's absolutely horrible. Yeah.
He's like literally he's like 50 years old and he has no life other than the internet because his own family probably realized what a disgusting worm he is. And all the Star Wars fandom was like, no, we love him. He's so amazing. He supports what we support, so therefore he's fine. He is such a disgusting, degenerate little cretin. I don't understand why anybody, much less Kyle Katarn, if he's so amazing and positive and loving, would ever associate with him, let alone support him, let alone recruit people to work on a project he made. These people are so hypocritical. It is laughable.
Yep, yep, that summarizes it all. I agree with all that. Uh, I'm pretty sure a lot of the people watching this have not heard any of this stuff. So today you're getting the real inside scoop. Um, is there
Probably.
anyone else you have stories about?
Um,
We might as well. The chains have
Not
come off today,
really.
so you might as well just go all in.
There are a couple smaller channels which I think are just. I'll tell a funny story, funny in a tragic way.
Is it
There
Star
was
Wars
this guy
related?
Galactic Lore. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There was this guy Galactic Lore. It was the Mandalorian. This has to be my last story. My PC's dying.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good.
Um, Galactic Lore. It was the episode with Bill Burr. With he mentions Operation Cinder, and Bill Burr goes crazy, and that
Great
poor
scene, by the way.
stormtrooper who's just chilling, eating his food, gets killed. You know, in Mandalorian season 2, they break into the
Yeah,
base.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Migs
he
Mayfield.
Galactic Lore clipped that. Yeah, yeah, Biggs Mayfield. Um, he Galactic Lore clipped that. He did some kind of like funny edit, and he was able to put that on YouTube. Basically, like within like 48 hours, it had over 1 million views. It was crazy. His channel was blowing up. He was getting 2,000 subscribers. He was a little kid from like Australia. He was so excited. I was live streaming because I had sleeping problems back then. He was always in my stream every day, just talking about how excited he was. It's amazing. I'm working on my next big video to try and capitalize on it. Like,
Mm-mm.
he was pretty smart for a kid. Out of nowhere, someone copy paste re-uploads his video and strikes his channel, and
Bro.
everything gets deleted, and he loses everything. That guy proceeds to get like, I don't know, 5 million views or something. Like, it's insane how big his video is, and I think it might be up to this day. Whoever, like, if you were to gather all of those big videos of that stormtrooper meme and you look at whichever one is oldest, that guy is a criminal. He is a literal, actual criminal. Whoever that person is, I don't know who it is. I don't keep tabs on this. I didn't investigate. Whoever it is, he's literally a criminal who stole success from a child, and I think he
Sorry.
might have turned it into a successful channel.
Alright, we need to find this channel before you go. So, who am
All
I
right,
looking for? What's the video called?
I'm not. It's like the sad story of a stormtrooper or something, or like the most tragic stormtrooper death or something like that.
Isn't that Lawmaster?
No, no, no.
The saddest and most heartfelt story of a stormtrooper.
It's
That's
it's a
Lawmaster.
it's literally just a
Trooper
meme
Talks.
clip of the episode. It's like less than a minute.
The most tragic stormtrooper. If this is the guy I think it is, this guy has been ripping my content off fucking ever. Uh, Migs Mayfield. It's a meme clip, is it?
Yeah, like it's that clip edited to music or something.
Is it the guy that has the inflated faces thumbnails?
I don't know.
The Mandalorian Mayfield shoots an Imperial officer. I wasn't a stormtrooper, wise ass. No, that's not it. Uh, do you happen to remember anything else about it?
I don't. That's all the details are. I remember it's like less than 1 minute. I think it might be like 42 seconds exactly or something like that.
Letting Mayfield go. Mayfield shoots officer.
I don't know.
The saddest story of a stormtrooper. It's not a short, is it?
Uh, I don't think so. Okay. I'm gonna send you. This is his re-upload. It only got 2.5K views. If you can find a re-upload of this exact video, that will be the guy. Right? So he made this video, 21 seconds. Sorry, it was half what I thought it was. He made that video, he uploaded it. Within a few days, it was copyrighted, and the guy who copyrighted it uploaded it himself, and it got millions of views.
Alright, before you go, I also need to drop some more stories. Do you remember the
Okay.
guys Kessel Run transmissions?
Not really.
These guys were more. Do you remember Noah Outlaw? Corey Wolfpack?
I don't.
Ah, damn, bro. Alright, well, these guys have a very tragic ending. They're not dead, just to let you know. I can't
Okay.
remember. I can't remember his original name, but Corey Basically, he was one of my competitors in the Star Wars, in the Clone Wars Season 7 era. He was like
Now
one
I
of
know
the
what
guys.
happened to him. Yeah, he got assassinated, bro.
He was one of my main competitors in the Star Wars, the Clone Wars Season 7 era. Basically, and then for some fucking reason, these guys, him and his friend Noah Outlaw, decided to get into Star Wars leaking. And these guys had leaks weekly, basically. And here's the problem: they created a podcast for these leaks called Kessel Run Transmissions. Every week they had a new leak leading up to Mando season 2, and then after that, one of their first leaks was that Ahsoka was fighting a bounty hunter in a cantina with her blue lightsabers in Mando season 2. That didn't happen. I'm sure you
Yeah, I
remember.
remember that scene.
That didn't happen. I'm guessing what they saw was when they were fighting the HK droids.
No, they clearly just lied, bro. You're giving them too much credit, dude. What do
Well,
you
all right,
mean?
all right, all right. I tried. All right, I was gonna bail them out because it gets worse. Then they had all these
Oh,
other
really?
leaks. Yeah, it gets way worse. Then they had all these other leaks. Guys, the trailer is coming out in the Super Bowl tomorrow. I just heard from a Lucasfilm source. That never happened. And then the worst one, which
Of
ended their
course.
career, was basically some guy sent him a picture from Clone Wars Season 7. The scene was darkened. They added some scars to Cody's face. These idiots posted on Star Wars Leaks brand new footage from the
I
Bad
remember
Batch
that.
Season 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was when they were completely finished. There
I
was way.
remember now, dude. That's crazy.
And then here's the craziest thing, alright? These guys had a redemption arc. Guess which TV show they were in? They were in a TV show in Star Wars. Guess which one?
Rebels?
Kenobi, bro. They were in Kenobi as extras.
What?
Yep, yep.
No way.
And then Lucasfilm found out that they were leakers, and they got blacklisted from Lucasfilm completely. So
Bruh,
they're not allowed
that's
to touch
crazy.
Lucasfilm at all with a 10-foot pole now.
That is wild. Okay, see, this is the thing. I have wanted to make a channel just for random stuff, like I said on my J Hands Reads one. That would be like the perfect example of the kind of video I'd want to make, like a documentary, like RuneScape kind of documentary thing,
Yeah,
except
yeah.
this kind of case. Like that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and there's also there's a personal side to that. Corey has a lot of mental health issues. There was some beef. I don't want to say much about this part because I don't know, but Noah Outlaw, his best friend, was sleeping with this other girl, and I'm not sure if she cheated on him with some other podcast guy. I don't want to get into that part because I don't know anything about that. But there was a lot of yeah,
Oh man,
they used to appear on each other's podcasts often, and then suddenly that stopped, and they were not
bro,
seen in the
not a
same room.
single one of the people affiliated with them has like a faithful bone in their body.
Yeah, I don't want to go into
That's
that part.
crazy.
I don't want to go into that part because I don't know anything about that. But the stuff with Kenobi is 100% true. That's, yeah. Corey Van Dyke Kenobi,
All
before
right,
we ended off.
while we're here,
Mm.
oh, go on.
Yeah, while you search for that, I'm going to find the shot of him in Kenobi.
Okay, so you couldn't have said that possibly more wrong, by the way. Just so you know, that's
What
pretty
did I say?
embarrassing, buddy.
I
But
was
anyway,
typing. I was typing
uh,
while I said it. What did I say?
yeah.
How did I say it?
I think they're assassinating me now, bro.
Oh God.
All right, I just want to say this just so it's out there. Like this is a piece of like YouTube history. I'm not saying it like as a funny thing or anything. I'm just saying like I want to document history. Not many people actually know about this, all right? He's mentioned it a couple times in videos now, like more recently, but he's never told like the full story, all right? So, I'm going to tell you what was rumored at that time, and it was on his subreddit and it got deleted because he didn't want people talking about it. But since then, he has mentioned some of the details himself. And so I'm assuming he's okay with it. All right.
You haven't mentioned the person
If
yet.
you're not, if you're yeah, if you're not okay with it, theory, like email him and he'll edit this out. Right. Don't copyright strike him. Don't be an idiot. All right. So here's the thing. Right.
I don't know what he's about to say here,
He
so
had a
don't take this out on me.
theory. Theory had a Discord. He does. I've told him this before, but he would have forgotten. This guy's memory is awful. He has no idea what I'm gonna say. Right. Theory had a Discord server, and there was a section. I think it was just for paid people, and there was a moderator who was a very creepy individual. It wasn't, I don't think it was known at the time. There were a few people who got weird feelings from him, but no one really knew. I don't remember if it was to do with children or only adults. I don't remember. I do, however, remember he got in trouble with the law. Something bad happened. Before he got in trouble with the law and everything was like confirmed, he got really mad at Theory for liking a movie he didn't. And I think it might have been The Rise of Skywalker. At first, Theory said he didn't hate it. He thought it was pretty good. This guy went insane. He said he was going to assault, but not physically, Theory's at the time fiance. I don't know about their relationship. I do know eventually they broke up. I can imagine that was a huge source of stress for them, right? This guy went off the rails. He was losing his mind. He was kicking and banning people from the Discord who disagreed with him. He was making like announcements saying like Theory's girl is like a hoe and stuff like that. Obviously,
What the fuck?
obviously, this is all from stuff people have said on his subreddit over the years, and it's been like removed. And I'm putting it together in my head. Maybe it's not super accurate,
We're getting
right? Like,
sued for
duh.
this one.
But Theory, as immediately, as soon as he realized that this is what was happening publicly, he completely removed that guy. I think he even fully shut down the Discord just to make sure nothing bad happened. Like he didn't want anything bad happening
I
to
do
him or
remember
his
something
fans or
about that.
anything. Yeah, he had a Discord and it was gone. And at the same time, he said someone threatened his girl. And that's people have been saying that. The people who were in the Discord said, "Yeah, I remember some weird stuff was said, and then it just got deleted. I was just out of the server." And so, unfortunately, Theory and his fiance, did receive those threats. Maybe unrelated. Pretty soon afterwards, they did separate. Unfortunately, I hope Theory finds happiness. I'm not trying to say anything bad about this. I just wanted to document it out there because he's been alluding to it more recently. Behind the scenes, I've known this for years. I've like these rumors and stuff as they were happening during the Rise of Skywalker. I was there, and I just remember all of this. I've for like 5 years now almost. I've had this lore, this YouTube lore. And if you guys don't know me, I love history. I am obsessed with it, especially Star Wars YouTuber history, because I've been there since the beginning. And so I've always had this information, but it never felt respectful or right to share it. But now he is coming out with it more. He is being a little more open with it. And so I just wanted to get it out there. As far as I know, allegedly, that's the full story. Theory obviously didn't want any of this to happen. He didn't want anything bad to happen. But this is just like he had a moderator who he thought was a good guy. He was absolutely like bonkers and nuts and insane and mentally unstable. And he did all this crazy stuff, which led to that Discord being deleted. So that's the history.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Theory, if you see this, if you don't want it out there, just email me. It'll be taken out.
Yeah,
Um,
immediately, definitely.
yeah, yeah.
You're gonna start checking your emails now, huh?
Oh God. Do you have any stories from Clone Wars season 7? Because that was a pretty interesting time
Only
as
how much
well.
I hate it.
No, from the YouTuber side.
Not that you should. I remember a Twitter thing. Like I remember posting something, and there was like a pretty decent sized Twitter account who was doing like Star Wars lore stuff. Like they were disagreeing with me, and I pulled out a screenshot that proved from the episode they were wrong, and it's just an actual retcon. And they blocked me and crap talked me to their followers, but that's about it. It was like big drama.
Yep. I'm trying to think of any more stories before we end it off. Have you got anything else you want to drop for the sake of history, since this is the biggest history podcast ever released on Star Wars YouTube?
Uh, and that's the thing. This is just us doing it without even planning. Imagine we actually planned something like
Oh
this. We could
God,
drop like a 5 hour documentary right now.
bloody 10
All
hours.
right. I am going to say a name, and no one is going to know what it means except for Star Force 1.
Okay.
The Force HQ.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Do you want to expand at all on that? You might as well.
No, I mean, I can. Okay, here's the thing.
Just
There's a
keep
guy,
it
he used
vague
to make
then.
really cool videos, and unfortunately, not in a bad way. Unfortunately, he had really good life circumstances where he had to take a step away from YouTube. He came back and he said, "Things are going well, things are getting better. I haven't fully started my job yet, but I'm starting soon. I'm gonna make a video." And he just died. And then mysteriously, someone just hid all of his videos. They're not deleted. The links are still there, but they're just hidden everywhere. And the notable thing about that, he isn't, as far as I know, he isn't the only person who has access. I think his ex girlfriend also had access, as far as I know. And so that to me has always been like, huh, I wonder what happened to that guy. That's pretty interesting.
Is this a different guy from Star Wars HQ then?
Yeah, yeah, completely different people.
Okay, yeah, because I cannot, I can't find the Force HQ channel anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing,
Is
bro.
it called Force
It's
Radio now?
mysterious.
There's
He
no
was
way.
literally. I don't think so.
No, bro, this has got
Imagine this guy
Trump
came back.
assassination vids. Nah, nah, this is
Oh, okay. I don't think it's him, probably.
nah, nah.
But this is
The
he's a
Force
guy
HQ.
who likes the air. The Force HQ.
He's only got two videos there.
What are they?
There's no way this is it. Mando season 2 reaction. The Force HQ presents. There's no way this must be a different channel.
Oh, that's him.
Is it?
Yeah, that's him, bro. That's him.
Well, he's dead.
Okay, yeah.
He's dead.
Okay, so the Mando video is one of his old ones. The Force HQ presents. This is an announcement video that he dropped that he's coming back. Everything's gonna be cool. Everything was everything was hidden. Now the Mando thing has been unhidden for some reason, and this video is back up, the most recent one.
Interesting. Interesting. All
But
right.
that's the. Do you see
Yeah.
this? Do you look at his chat? It says there's 3 videos, but there's only 2.
Where am I looking for this?
Like you go on his channel, it says like 840 subscribers, 3 videos, but then there's only
Oh
two of
yeah.
them.
That doesn't count unlisted ones, does it?
No, it definitely he has like probably like 30 videos total.
The Force HQ live streams. He's got a playlist. Yep, you can see his unlisted live streams. Go to his playlist tabs.
Oh yeah, there's
Playlists
one
tab.
of them.
The first one's
Oh wait,
unlisted. They're all
okay, so
unlisted.
there's a bunch of his stuff there, but that's not. So
It's
he
just,
did live streams here and there, but there's like 20 or something like quizzes and stuff he did.
oh, all right. I gotta tell another story then.
Okay, bearing in mind 11%.
Yeah, all right. We'll try and wrap it up soon. Do you know a guy called Star Wars Coffee?
Um, no, I'm just thinking of CoffeeZilla.
Star Wars Coffee. Basically, he came up around the same time as me as well. I'm pretty sure. I can't confirm this. I'm not going to accuse him of it. Basically, he just re-uploads trailers and he makes it seem like they're new trailers. I'm pretty sure he got caught copyright striking people on Reddit, like copyright striking Reddit posts of people posting his videos, possibly on YouTube as well. I'm not making the accusation. I just remember hearing about this. Yeah, he's still active, so maybe I'm guessing he would have been caught by now. Maybe not, but he's definitely done some dodgy shit in the past, and he's just re-uploading trailers, not making any original content. Um, oh yeah, what are your thoughts on uploading spoilers right after an episode comes out?
Well, here's the thing. I have 2 different like points of view, basically.
Yeah,
One is when I was a YouTuber, like before now, not
stay the
now.
fuck off the
And
internet if you don't want
two is
spoilers.
yeah, two is as a consumer now because I'm going through all the High Republic stuff and I have to exclusively use the Star Wars.wiki because unfortunately, like
Star
we made a reading order and I
Wars.archive.wiki.
oh yeah new whoops,
New link, new
but
link.
the link still works for now, so that's fine. Star Wars.archivum.wiki. Um, me and my friends made a reading order. We were going to go through it. I'm the only one actually doing it, and I'm not even doing it that like reliably because I have no motivation. Um, but I accidentally went through one of the books in the wrong order. I did it before the book I was supposed to,
Yep.
and so I went on because I was hearing stuff that sounded kind of familiar, but I wasn't sure if it had actually happened yet. I was like, huh? Like, am I just remembering this from the fact I covered it as a YouTuber a few years ago, or did this already happen and I forgot like yesterday? Like, I went on Wikipedia and I immediately got spoiled that the character who's like this entire book is about that character. They die in this book, and I'm like, are you kidding me,
Yeah,
dude?
that's
Really?
what I hate about Wook. That's literally that is the primary reason I made the new wiki, just for that.
Yeah. So that, as a consumer, my perspective is don't make spoilers like that, Wikipedia. You stupid, worthless, pathetic, garbage platform. You disgusting cretins. Just use Star Wars.archive.wiki.
Yep.
Anyway, as a YouTuber back in the day, I definitely used to think that it was free game. Like what as I was watching the Mandalorian episode where it was
Oh
revealed
my,
Boba Fett survived, I just
I'm guilty
pressed
on that
print
one.
screen and I made a video and that was it.
Same,
I
same.
didn't even watch the
Actually,
rest
all
of
right,
it,
I'll tell
dude.
you this story then. That's how I met Lawmaster. I
Oh,
mean, not
really?
met. This is how I got into contact with Lawmaster. Basically, I uploaded a video as soon as that Boba Fett episode came. I didn't even finish the episode. I, no, okay, I made it to the end. My thumbnail was, when Boba Fett puts the helmet on the table? No, sorry, Boba wasn't even
Yeah.
in it yet. It was Cobb Vanth.
Cobb Vanth.
Cobb Vanth had Boba's helmet, yeah. So it wasn't even a spoiler for
Yeah.
Boba, but it was a bit of a spoiler. Basically, I just put that thumbnail as my massive thumbnail on the breakdown video. Lawmaster makes a tweet. Guys, this is disgusting. Putting spoilers in the thumbnail so quickly after an episode, it's just truly shameful. And then he must have seen that I was following him. So he deleted the post and then he DMs me and then we get back and forth. And basically, that's how I got into contact with Lawmaster. And now we're on good terms.
Interesting. Okay, we'll drop. I just plugged this in my charger. People might have heard me moving
Oh,
around
if you
there.
want to continue,
I'll
yeah,
drop.
we can.
I'll drop one more little bit of lore. All right, which is how me and you met, because I think that's a good story.
All right.
All right, so once upon a time, my channel, Star Wars something, was accused of plagiarism by some guy, and he said there's this guy, Star Wars something else, who made exactly the same video. You are plagiarizing, and he will take you to court or something like that. It was like a really strongly worded thing. I was like, damn. Well, I know I didn't plagiarize anyone because I spent a week on this video. Like, I was doing daily. I spent a week working on that video while doing daily videos. I was like, I know for sure. And it wasn't just me. My friend S, we'll call him, he helped me write parts of that video. And I know he didn't steal from anyone because he didn't even watch YouTube at that time. And so I was like, okay, this is weird. Let me contact it. Turns out, literally the day before, Star Wars Something Else uploaded the same title, a similar thumbnail, and the video was a similar premise. It was um, what if Darth Maul fought Count Dooku or something? But it was those two fighting, and we had completely different outcomes, completely different analysis of how the fight would go. I told like a fan fiction mixed in there of how I think the fight would go, and I described it like a book and stuff like that. My video was like 3 times the length of his or something. So long story short, we didn't plagiarize that person, obviously. But I was afraid that they would think that, and since my channel was relatively new, I was DMing him like, "Hey man, uh, I saw this is your Twitter. I hope this is the right guy. Like, I'm really sorry. Like, promise you, we didn't. Like, I don't know what's going. He's like, no, I know that guy in real life. He's just super super passionate for like no reason. Don't worry about it. We're cool. Like, I don't think you plagiarized me. Video's totally different. Fine. We get to talking, and he starts hosting this weekly podcast. Um, the day of the Bad Batch coming out. So whenever the Bad Batch episodes would come out, that same night we would we'd do a live stream together on StreamYard. We would exchange our reviews of the episodes, talk about things we did and didn't like. This is when we were both trying to be enthusiastic about Star Wars. And so me, Star Wars something, and the other guy, Star Wars something else, we did this plan together to do that, but he had already actually started something with someone else coincidentally at the same time period. We were going to do two separate things, but he was just like, "Hey, why don't you just come on as a guest between me and this other guy?" And he still makes videos, so I'm not going to mention him. I don't like him. I've never liked him. My first impression of that guy was very bad because he seems to have a reason to dislike me, which goes beyond race. We'll say that. And so,
Jesus.
unfortunately, I didn't get along with him from the beginning. Clearly, he felt the same way because after a couple of episodes, he just left. He just didn't message us. He didn't say like Star Wars something else had to basically beg him to explain why he left. And he's like, "Yeah, I just don't think this is something I want to be a part of. On to bigger and better things, like something like that." And so we're like, "Okay, fine, whatever." Bad Batch has like 6 episodes out. We can't randomly start and stop a podcast. Let's just keep going. And I think you randomly popped into one of his live streams as a commenter unrelated to the Bad Batch, and you just happened to subscribe to him. Maybe you thought that this stupid kid was making good videos or something. I don't know. I didn't think that,
I remember. No,
but
it's because I was watching the Bad Batch. Nobody had the balls to say it was terrible. So I was looking for someone. I was looking at even the tiniest YouTubers just to see if anyone would call out the Bad Batch for being shit. And then I found him.
yeah, and he genuinely liked it, but there were a lot of things he criticized. That's something I like about him as well. He was pretty legit, and so I was on there saying every episode's the worst thing ever because I hate Star Wars and all that,
And you were
and
based.
yeah, exactly. One random episode, you happen to come in, and I'm like, oh, Star Force One, that's a big name, and I'm trying to like act casual because I've been watching your content for years at that point. I'm like, oh, Star Force One, this isn't like the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. No way. Um, and he looks back on that now and he laughs at me saying like, ah, you said like, ah, Star Force One, that's a big name, and it's like, yeah, but what else was I meant to say? Like he was just ignoring you. He was the host, and it was his channel. He just acted like you weren't there. I was like, dude, we gotta like acknowledge him somehow. He's gonna leave. Eventually, you and him started talking. Then you added me on Twitter, and we started talking. And eventually, you came on as the season finale guest for the Bad Batch season
Yeah.
one.
Save the best till
Um,
last.
yeah, right. And I think all of us collectively said like that's one of the worst things we've ever seen. And then that was the start of a beautiful friendship.
Yes, and that's how we get a 1 hour and 45-minute podcast going down the history of Star Wars YouTube.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, yeah, the wealth of knowledge we both have. I, I'm pretty sure not many people know as much history as we've just gone over today, because you've got your own set of knowledge which I didn't even know about. I've brought stories that you didn't know about, just because we've been around the
Yeah.
community for ages. We can observe things from being here for so long. So it's just interesting to get
Yeah.
all of this knowledge out and see how the Star Wars community has evolved over time.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I would love to have that documentary someday. It's just now, like, we can do a documentary based on our memories, and that'll be fine. But we don't have receipts, we don't have facts. Getting that stuff now is so hard because there are so many. Like now, there's hundreds of thousands of videos about Star Wars lore. There has to be, and so
Yeah,
finding those videos we saw back in the day, trying to make like a timeline of events, is so much harder.
yeah. There's a few tricks you can use. I'll share with you after the stream. But yeah, it's much more difficult. Back then there was like 10 major guys, less than 10. Let's say five major guys, 10 medium guys, and like 100 small guys, and that was it. That was all the content. You could go through all the content in like in a
Yeah,
few weeks. You could go through everything. Now it's completely different.
yeah, it's completely different. It's almost unrecognizable.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to end it. It was very interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed getting all that inside beef and scoops and everything. If you enjoyed, make sure you check out Annie Kestis. Where can they check you out?
So you can find my main YouTube channel, Annie Kestis. I'm taking a little bit of a back seat. I'm gonna try and upload less often, but higher quality content. I have a second channel which I'm in the middle of rebranding. So Star Force will just put the link and that's it. I'm not going to tell you the name because I'm still figuring that out. I have to figure it out in
Yeah.
like the next hour or something. But um, yeah, you can find me on my website, which will also be linked below. It's way too long for you to be able to remember. And yeah, that's it.
All right, perfect. I've very much enjoyed this. We're going to have another podcast coming relatively soon, I'm sure. And we may go even deeper than this time. There may be stories you haven't heard yet. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you, Annie Kestis, for being on. And if you made it this far, which I doubt we're going to see a single comment of this, drop a thank Mr. Kestis in the comments down below. Thank you so much. And Annie Kestis, any final words?
Thank you for having me, and may the force be with you.
Peace out.